Hello, my name is Doug Lazier, and I wanted to record this video specifically for the churches or other not-for-profits in Canada who are using my donation and expenses software. So I shared with you a link that talks about kind of generically how to install, set up my software. Um, so once I email it to you, follow through the instructions and set it up. But those are some generic instructions, and what I wanted to talk about are those things specific to setting this up for the Canadian churches. Okay, so during your setup, the first thing you'll do, of course, is set up your donors, enter your list of donors, and assign the donor numbers. Make sure you copy down the drop down box so you can say whether or not yes or no to whether or not you want to make a receipt for those particular donors at the end of the year. Again, this is kind of some of the generic setup information from the other video. But once you've done that, then we come back to the parameters and you walk down through each of the parameters, and based on the different options here, this can adjust it to work specifically for your church or not-for-profit. So one of the things related specifically to Canada, you do have some churches that I'm aware of there that are Spanish speaking, and so when I send the software to you, it already has the Spanish translation in there. So you would just simply come down here to the language and select Spanish, and as soon as you do, all of the parameters and basically all of the other tabs adjust themselves to be in the Spanish language, and then you'll go down through and each of the parameters are now going to display in the Spanish language. So adjust all of your parameters in your language and after you switch it. Now, if you're in Quebec, then you might be French speaking, and so I do have another Excel file that I can send you if you just ask for it. In there I have translations to many other languages, including French. So the idea there is just simply we're just going to simply copy all of the French language words and phrases here. We're going to copy all of that to the translation tab, and literally we're just copying French and pasting over top of the Spanish. So we're replacing the Spanish with the French words and phrases. Once you do that, then under the parameters you'll have the option then to select French. So it's just that easy to convert this to the French translation, and then you can use it in French. Okay, the other thing, whether you're doing English, Spanish, or French, doesn't matter, but you might, in Canada, you might want to switch the date format. So by default, it will be the month, day, year. That's what we do here in the United States, but you might want to do the year, month, day. That might be the more appropriate format for your dates. Okay, once you do that, the next big thing we'll do as you're working your way down through, again, this is in the other video, set up your donation categories, the names of your donation categories, how many you're using, set up your accounts, bank, credit card type accounts, and how many of those you'll be tracking. And then the important thing is the important thing is that you'll want to come here to the currency and make the adjustment here. So in the United States, we have 10 different items that we use: pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, ones, fives, tens, 20s, 50s, and 100s. So the subtle difference in Canada is I've been told that you really aren't using pennies anymore, so we can get rid of that, but you are using loonies and toonies. So what we'll want to do is just simply take the nickels, dimes, quarters. We're going to copy that and paste it over top of the pennies. and I'm going to do a paste values. So it's putting those items in the same way as if I just typed them manually. That's what the paste values is doing. So now we start with nickels, dimes, quarters, and now we want to replace this with the loonies, and that will be a value of $1, and the toonies, and that will be a value of $2. Okay, so that will adjust the currency. So let me put that back to the way it was for future videos. Okay, so I just put that back to US just for future videos. Now we're going to go back up. The next thing we want to think about is related to creating those year-end donor receipts. So we have a requirement in Canada that we need to put in the registration number and a link to the website for the Canadian Revenue Agency. So we do that in the receipt header, and then we want to also put in the receipt footer a place where we can do the authorized signature. Okay, receipt header. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 different receipt headers that we can put in there, and let's just jump over here quickly. So you have the giving receipt for whatever date, church name, address, and then these are the 3 rows for your optional receipt headers. So if you can, up to you whether you put these next to each other or you skip a row like I did here, but you put them in the parameters. So receipt header 1, 2, and 3. So here we put the charitable registration number, skip a row, and then the required link for the Canadian Revenue Agency website. Okay, on the footer you can type in, of course, whatever you want to on these rows, and then you do want a place where you can do an authorized signature. And all I did is I just typed in authorized signature, and then the place where you're going to sign your name. That was done just simply using the simple underscore. So on the keyboard I'm just hitting the underscore and putting in a bunch of those, and then that will flow over onto the receipt. Okay, same thing there. If you want to, we do have an extra row there, so perhaps it'll read better if we put that here on receipt footer 5, and then take a look at it, and that gives plenty of room then for you to do your authorized signature. So okay, yeah, that's really it. It's not a whole lot, but those are the additional things that I think you want to do if you're one of the churches or not-for-profits in Canada. All right, thank you.